My name is Kenya Moody, and I'm the computer networking teacher here at Swenson.
My name is Anthony. I'm in the computer system networking shop in the 12th grade at Swenson. I applied to Swenson during 8th grade year, so I picked computer networking off the choices that I was given, and computer system networking just stood out to me. And like I was already hands-on, like learning how to do things on computers, and I was like, as a kid, I was always able to like just go on the computer, just fix a virus, just fix anything like that, just for fun. So I said, why not better my skill and join the computer system networking shop?
A lot of times kids come into computers because, you know, they like computers and they do the little video games and things of that sort at home, but they have to know that it's a lot more intense than just that. You're not going to come into the shop and play video games and do things of that sort. We're actually going to be working and we're going to be learning.
So originally I went to Lincoln. I applied to Swenson during 8th grade year, but I never got accepted. Like I came for the interview and everything like that, but I never got accepted. But I was going to Lincoln, doing my thing, and honors classes, got my good grades, and I applied for Swenson. I got accepted, and I came here during my COVID year.
So Computer Networking 1 basically focuses on the computer itself, and that we learn about the various different parts of the computer. We learn how to take the computer apart, we learn how to put it back together, make sure it's fully functional. By the end of that year, we learn home networking, so the kids should be able to diagnose their home network at home, build a network for their home, and making sure everything is working fine.
So my first year was on it was the COVID year, so we was online, and we was mainly using TestOut. And TestOut is like a virtual simulator, basically doing labs, learning how to work around the computer virtually, learning like the motherboard, the SATA, everything that has to do with a computer, basically.
So second year, we basically build on the first year, and that we do a little bit of the computers, putting it together and apart, just doing mainly a lot of troubleshooting with that, because we should have a basic groundwork on there, and then we build upon the networking. So we start to do business like networking. We really get into the Cisco products. We run a Cisco networking academy, so everything we do are based on Cisco products. So they learn how to do program the switches and the routers and everything else to begin to make enterprise networks.
Second year back in school, it was a little hard to get adjusted to, but Miss Moody, she made it easier for us. And our first year was able to take apart a computer from the motherboard all the way to like every component of the computer and reassemble it. And that was like a good way to show what we learned during COVID year.
Final year is just the culminating year where we put everything together. So in our senior year, we are doing enterprise networks. We are breaking networks up into smaller networking. By that time, we are able to do a lot of the subnet masking. We focus on our NOCTIs, and we focus on our industry certifications.
When you graduate, when you're in the Miss Moody shop, you'll be able to get certifications, take tests to get certifications. You can use those certifications to get like further into like the IT field.
Each year, the children or the students are able to obtain certifications. There's a 10th grade certification, 11th grade, and a 12th grade, and then we do a big overall 12th grade on CompTIA Network Plus.
What it's like to be a computer network student? It's amazing. Miss Moody, she does a phenomenal job teaching, showing us, just making us feel comfortable. Our first year back, she did a phenomenal job just portraying the image she was online to in person. Still all good vibes. As far as classmates and the work, amazing. I never knew these people before my first year back, and we instantly all clicked. It took some time, but after all, we have lifelong friends.
Well, the NOCTI is very similar to everyone else's NOCTI. It is 300 questions, multiple choice questions. My students fare to do really well on the NOCTI. We spend a lot of time making sure that we are prepared. Over the years, my students tend to be proficient or competent or advanced, 100%, pretty much like 90 to 100%.
So our third year, we're basically getting ready to graduate. Basically, we're not repeating what we learned from last year, but it's basically you already got a role. You already know what you're doing. Once you get into Moody class, you know exactly what you're doing because she established that from the beginning. So you already know like what you're supposed to be doing. Senior year, basically, she will prepare you to be ready to when you get out of high school. You'll be prepared and know have a plan. So she will give you a project on that to basically so you can know how it works and be able to financially live. So I say that's a good good tool to help you. Even though that's a computer system network shop, she's still trying to help you learn about life.
In terms of the hands-on part, they have to identify various cables and being able to identify the faults in the cables. They have to be able to do a wireless network, just making sure build a wireless network, making sure it works. And then they also have to be able to build smaller LAN where we're figuring out troubleshooting the network card, making sure it's functioning correctly, switching it in, going inside the computer, pulling parts out that's malfunctioning, putting in the correct ones, and then making sure the computers are able to talk to each other.
I feel like any student will thrive as long as you're willing to put the work in. As long as you're willing to work with Miss Moody, learn from her. She's an amazing teacher. She will teach you, and you will learn everything that you need to know about computers from her.